Granga podcast listeners, this is D.B. Williams from the PaintMyWord.com report. This is episode 4 of the PaintMyWords.com report, and it will cover color and simplicity from the last 2 weeks of my photographic work. There are roughly 20 images covered in this compilation. When I look at this image, I see green orbs and I see a structure grasping shapes, a piece full of motion. It's also a piece, there's only 2 real colors in it. There's green and there's brown and there's a little bit of black. I like the sense of balloons floating from these, from the structure. It's a plant that I purchased about 2 years ago, and I got around to taking a few pictures of it and cropped this section that I just felt it. These are both pictures of Lindsay from the same night, same dress, obviously. She's sitting in a chair, but they both managed to capture a sense of motion, a sense of movement. You can see in both chairs it appears like she's either leaning back or stepping forward. I like the contrast in these. I like the sense of black and white. I like the color, the red, and the cheeks in the dress and the one on the right, and the contrast on the one on the left. This is an image of actually orange cones, orange safety cones, taken from my workplace. What I liked about it was the orange pulled out of them and how you can make it almost look like an orange orchard. It's this deconstruction of this cosmetic society, this plastic society, this modern society that we live in, and I've taken it and I've converted these orange cones into what almost look like oranges, contrasted against the black the green background. There's also a good sense of light and dark in the green background. It makes you look like you're almost in an orchard. So what's cool about these images is they're both taken on the same day. They're taken from different angles, but they're both the same image, the same car. It's a punch buggy. It's standard classic Beetle. We all grew up, we all loved in the 70s and 80s. What I like about the image on the left is how I've made this picture almost like it's out of a cartoon. It's got a brilliant blue contrasted against the yellow and black lines and futuristic curves. And then the image on the left, there's a darkness, there's a small highlight, and you see the bumper and you see the hood, but it fades into the background. And what's amazing about Adobe Creative Suite is it allows you to change images like this. It allows you to do this all in software. That to me is just amazing that I can get this from the same image. This is a favorite of mine. This is actually, it was a picture taken on the same day as the Beatles, maybe 5 minutes later, and I just saw it and said, no one else thinks like this. No one else sees images in this way. I don't believe I've cropped this image in any way. This is all taken in camera. The green and the yellow are an overexposed sky with a bit of yellow tint added. And the blue is actually a telephone, or not a telephone pole. Looking at it, it's a light pole. You can see the right light and the left light from a corporate environment, from an office space, and I've added filters to this, and I've kind of added this punch tone. But what's very cool is it draws the viewer's eye into this top left-hand side of the screen. It's slightly off-centered. There's a sense of motion, a sense of depth. You can tell that this isn't a flat. This image reminds me of a lunar landscape. There's a bit of green on, not green, my color blindness. There's a bit of purple on the right hand side, just a sliver. There's a bit of blue on the left, predominantly black. And then the main lighter tones to help with the contrast in this image are on the right corner driving into the top center. There's also a good contrast, a good sense of depth, and a good sense of motion. You can tell that this image is moving the eye somewhere. This is an interesting piece, and I added it so that you guys can see how easy it was to crucify, if that's a word, the shapes of objects. This is a set of landscaping rocks, and I just thought it was interesting. You change the way that the image is aligned, and you can see that it becomes something entirely different. So this image is where I kind of came up with the other idea of color and simplicity for the title of this episode. This image reminds me of fields actually from a farm, but it's entirely not that. If you look at it close enough, you can tell, oh, hey, this is the grain of a wood. This is green. So I've applied a green tint to this image. I've been playing a lot lately with tints in Photoshop and some other programs. There's not as much white in this image as I like, but there's a good sense of black and there's a good sense of highlights. I like how it's a very object that has been transformed from what it appears to look like something else. It looks like a farm on a horizon. This is an image of my love Lindsay in a hammock. Obviously, the most striking thing is the red line that pops out of you. I put another green tint on this image. I guess I was having a green day. What I like again here is the sense of highlight, the sense of darkness. You can actually see that, hey, there's an image here. Again, there's a sense of motion with this picture as the hammock stretches across. It takes up roughly 2/3 of the size of the canvas, leaving another third for just negative space, which is important. Negative space is a very important piece of an image. It's what tells the viewer which portion of an image to focus on. And along those lines, another thing I've done is the red in the book is another thing. It draws the eye, and then you move along, and the hammock carries your eye across the rest of the piece. And dynamic piece. What you notice secondarily is the person. Lindsay's obviously not the most important figure in this piece, but she is a player. So immediately the viewer can tell that this is a mechanical piece, that this is a very piece made up of constructed components. You can see the arches on the right-hand side, right top-hand corner side of the image. You can see the circular object in the center with a bit of curvedness on it, with the green and the blue. You can see the cord leaving that object. This was taken at a movie theater. It's the voice box that a teller uses when communicating with a customer. There's glass there. What I've done is blackened out the background so that you solely focus on those images. And again, I guess what I like in this piece is the sense of motion, the sense of connectedness, how all these sections are connected, and the simplicity. There's a few colors. There's 4 colors, and then there's also black. This is an image of candy wrappers taken at a movie theater. Again, here I like the fact that you can see a lot of light. It gives you the feeling of a candy or a sugar high. It evokes that emotion. You can see remnants of Skittles of an actual company's logo. Another image that's been, you can't exactly tell what it is or what it was. This is an image of a cedar bench that I carved over the last week by hand. I like how you can only see the color in the actual bench. I like how it kind of filtered out and grayed out and feathered the background. You know, it just really makes the bench stand out. I also like the shininess and the highlight and the sense of depth to this image. This is an image of a glass, an empty glass. I like the highlight in the center. It's obviously directed right, pointing you into the middle of the piece. But I also like how it kind of draws the eye around in a circle. You can see the circular shape, the blues pulling you towards the center. And this is an image of Lindsay. You can see her obviously looking through a piece of wood that she's found. It's got a hollowed out section in the middle with moss growing around it. Set a Gaussian blur around the green and the brown on the outside of the piece on the edges. And then on her, I've clarified the image through Photoshop with the sharpener setting. I like how the eye kind of pops out through the center of the piece. I just think it draws the viewer's eye into the top right-hand corner of the image. Thanks again for your time. This has been episode 4 of the PaintMyWords.com report. As always, I appreciate your comments and feedback, and have a great afternoon.